This week, we're going to be talking about sad songs. And I'm not just talking about sad songs that are like breakup songs or anything like that, just any song that kind of like gets you going emotionally. November has historically not been a great month. Yes, I do concede that Thanksgiving is here. It's when Christmas season starts or holiday season starts for a lot of people. My birthday's in November as well, but November is also a time when my house got broken into a while ago. Just little things that kind of just happen in November that kind of make it a little bit of a rough month. So, I put together a list of sad songs. Again, not to be mistaken for like breakup songs or anything like that. That will be a separate list at one point or another. But I put together a list of just some songs like, hey, you know what? You need to cry. I got your back with this one. So if there's any song that I could start with that should get you a little bit emotional, it's Angel by Sarah McLachlan. Look, if you cannot look at sad puppies and not, or if you can't look at sad puppies and feel something, then something's wrong, buddy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like this one always gets me. Before there were commercials making us want to adopt puppies all over the place. Number two is Tears of Heaven by Eric Clapton. It's just always just a tough song to listen to. It's pretty, but it's just a tough song. Got in the three hole, Everybody Hurts by REM. Between that introduction and just the lyrics, yeah, this one pretty self-explanatory. I've got Gone Too Soon by Daughtry and One Sweet Day by Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey. Both of these are, relatively standard sad songs about someone passing away too soon. I got Stars by Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. There's an episode of The Voice where somebody sang this song, and I don't think it's like the actual topic of the song sounds like really, really sad, but it's, just it's one where if you need to cry, this one will get you pretty good. I've got If I Die Young by the band Perry. Like this one gets me because like it also was sung in an episode of Glee after Corey Monteith died. So this one always reminds me of that. Best I'll Ever Be by Sister Hazel. There's a lyric here is like, is this the best that I'm ever gonna be? And this one gets me a lot, especially like there's an acoustic version that I put on here. Before You Go by Louis Capaldi, self-explanatory. This next one is Winter by Joshua Radin. This is in an episode of Scrubs where Brendan Fraser, who is a guest star on the show, he is sick, and then during one episode, he passes away, and you don't realize this until the very end. And one of the doctors, Dr. Cox, he is seeing him as a coping mechanism. They do a really great job of making this so that you don't really get the gut punch until later on, but this one always gets me. Again, just like a acoustic guitar song, this one gets me pretty good. Landslide by the Chicks. I suppose I could pick Landslide specifically by Fleetwood Mac, but I don't know. This one by the Chicks gets me pretty good as well. Light in Your Eyes by Blessed Union of Souls. I could have picked a bunch of Blessed Union of Souls songs here, but I picked Light in Your Eyes specifically. It's just really sad. Away from the Sun by Three Doors Down. Like these are getting to some more like traditional ones, like Away from the Sun, So Far Away by Stained, and Broken by Seether and Amy Lee. I toyed around with putting a couple songs from Evanescence on here because they're really good at having songs that kind of make you sad. But I opted for this one for Broken. Like, I also tried to get songs that I have not put on a playlist like ever or like a handful of times. I've got Time After Time from Ava Cassidy. Like this one is it's super slowed down. This was in an episode of Smallville during a funeral that got me really good, so I picked this one here. This used to be my playground by Madonna. There were a couple of Madonna songs that I considered, but I ended up picking this one because it gets me every time I watch this at the end of A League of Their Own. It just does. When You're Gone. Funny story about this. Yeah, I know I recognize that putting a funny song in here on a sad mix is kind of ironic, but I was working once and it was a desk job, and I saw someone out of the corner of my eye who was listening to a song, and it was this one, and he had just broken up with his girlfriend, and yeah, like that one was one that, yeah, just it's sad, but I just envision him just looking at a computer, just looking through pictures and having this play in the background. So, and then the last one, I picked this song because it's also kind of one of those songs that I need to be sad, but also it helps me to try to get out of a funk as well. And I picked Shake It Out by Florence and the Machines. I figured that was a good one to end on as a way to, try to be a little bit more on the hopeful side. I've had a good cry here, ostensibly, but this one, yeah, this is the one that I used to be like, okay, it's time to snap out of it. Let's get back into the mix. As for a album cover for this, I think I'm just gonna, I'd like, I just picture the episode of South Park where Butters is crying in the rain by himself. Uh, and then he has that epiphany where he says, "Well, yeah, like I'm glad I have this sadness because that just means I could feel that happy about something or that I could love something." I think that's a really powerful message. And but it all starts with that scene where Butters is crying in the dark when it's raining on a street corner. So I think I'm picking that as my album cover for this.